and welcome back to Doom Eternal. We're in the second half of Necroval, which, for some reason, is its own level.
Which is really weird, because if you put Necroval 1 and 2 together, it feels like it's just about as long as some of the longer levels in the game. So I'm not sure...
Yeah, it's about as long as the last level we were in, really.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's a
I
loading
don't
issue.
understand.
Like, this area looks huge, and
Could
they
be.
might not have had a elegant way
Then
to
again,
hide
maybe
that
they
logo.
were going for that Wily Castle 1, Wily Castle 2 feel by making it
Could be.
more than one level. They make it feel more significant. That's just my guess, though.
I think one of the coolest things about this level, and it's not a big deal, but this tower that we're about to enter, you could actually see in the background of, like, level 2. And it's just that cool feeling of finality. Like, oh, cool, we're going there.
Oh, I always love it when games do that kind of stuff. If I can, hold on, I'm going to make myself a Dragon Quest reference counter. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
ding.
no.
There we go. The original Dragon Quest, when you leave the front, the first castle, the enemy's castle is right across the river from you, but you can't get there. So it's taunting you for the entire game, and it's a similar feeling to that. There we go. See,
The way you worded that whole thing just reminded me of, did you know if you enter and then leave Corona Mountain, the water will drain?
Oh god. Before it became like, a huge world-spanning problem, the first thing I texted John was, "Did you know that if you enter and exit coronavirus, the water will drain?" And he just responded with "fuck you," and that was appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate reaction.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, this thing's
Oh,
cool.
wow. You're
This is
using
the
the
weapon you were talking
Unmaker.
about.
Yeah, it's the Unmaker, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like the Contra spread gun in
Kinda,
3D.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair analogy.
And
If
that
I
was
never
like
thought
the
of
best
that.
gun in that game.
If only it didn't use the same ammo as something way better.
Yeah.
So, like, how long
Yeah.
can you shoot the Unmaker to have
If you're
it be
just if you're just holding the button, it's about 5 seconds or so.
Oh, okay.
It's
so-
not super long, but again, it tears through all super
It's
heavies pretty quickly.
Really powerful.
Okay.
So, like, the BFG isn't very powerful against, like, the super heavy demons.
Did you just do a glory kill homing attack?
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
And it gave you another dash so you could make it across that gap?
Well, I only had the one,
Okay.
but it was enough to get across.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the BFG in this game is more meant to, like, take down a bunch of smaller demons in the room so you could focus on the big demons. And
okay.
the Unmaker is, like, the other way around.
Okay. I guess that makes sense to have
Yeah.
different super weapons for different situations.
Yeah, the thing about this game, though, is that because you need to constantly be using the chainsaw to refill your ammo, every arena will constantly be spawning imps or basic zombies, so you have, ammo refill fodder. So that kind of inherently makes the BFG not as useful.
Yeah.
You mean the Unmaker?
No, the BFG.
Bit of both. But
No, you said it makes the BFG not as
Oh,
useful
because the
well, yeah, because
the BFG isn't as useful against the super heavies.
yeah, the tiny demons that the BFG is good for will
Oh,
infinitely
okay. I think
respawn in certain
I'm misunderstanding
arenas.
what you meant. My bad. That's
Happens
never
to the
happened
best
on
of us.
BrainScratch comms before. Ted not knowing
What's
what
that?
the hell he's talking about. Nope.
We have perfect communication skills.
No, it's more like I have imperfect comprehension skills, but that's a lesson for me and my therapist to figure out.
Speaking
Oh, yeah,
of
this is
therapists,
also-
I really like The Revenant.
Okay.
What does that have to do with? Never mind.
He's screaming, he makes me happy.
If
This is
that's
also
what your
the,
therapy sessions are like, you need to get a new therapist.
Final upgrade.
Final crystal!
But yeah, this is also the level with the really annoying challenge of glory kill a archvile from the left side, and there's
Oh,
only one
God.
of them in the entire level.
Oh, wait, do you do what I do and then die if you...
Well, you can just
screw it up?
reload checkpoint.
Oh, okay. Because I would do that in all sorts of... Actually, Rayman
Well,
Origins is the first
you don't
one.
want to die because you'll just burn through all your lives, and it doesn't save those between checkpoints.
Oh, okay.
So if you miss like a thing like that, it's better to reload checkpoint than die, unless you already have 0 lives to begin with.
Yeah, but in any game, like, it's the same basic idea, though, because in any game like that, where there's, like, a star coin in Mario, or, the game I can remember most is Rayman Legends, because if you want to get the Max Lums Electoon, not Rayman Legends, Rayman
I'm
Origins.
just
Legends is
thinking
a
of
lot
Crash
easier.
Bandicoot whenever you miss a goddamn box in one of the animal riding levels. You just,
Yeah.
You run
jump off
into
the
the wall.
You jump off the side of the Great Wall of China, and then you do it again until you get the goddamn box and reach the next
In
checkpoint.
real life or in the game?
Possibly both. And then
So
you,
if you
with
hate
Crash
doing
with-
that, Lewis,
And
I would
then-
not recommend playing Pac-Man World 2.
yeah, and then you do it again in Tomb Raider 2 2 hours later, just for spite, and yeah. Oh boy.
Hi, Baron of Hell.
He's friend.
This
Well, now
guy
he's
was a
also
boss
dead.
in the
He is
original
also
Doom, right?
giblets.
Oh. It's okay, he just casually has his legs explode. Okay, cool.
Well, because I blew him off with the super shotgun.
Okay. Oh yeah, you get the super shotgun way later in this game, right? Because you only got that a few parts
You
ago.
get it by the third
Level. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I remember, I thought you said something like they didn't give it to you as early because too many people only
Well, you
used it.
you could find it
Um,
earlier in Doom 2016, but they didn't give it to you until later.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there is a point in 2016 where it's like, here's a super shotgun, just take it already. But you can find it early in some secrets. But in this game, it doesn't really bother hiding weapons, but rather upgrades for the weapons.
Okay.
I kind of prefer that method for what they were trying to go for this game, but I also don't mind hiding weapons, because it also feels kind of rewarding when you find them. I don't know, just down to preference, really.
Yeah, it kind of. I felt it always kind of put the game balance a little out of whack because you couldn't design the levels around them finding it if it's supposed to be
Yeah.
a secret, which means, oh, you found the super shotgun early, which makes the game a lot easier because it's such a good weapon or whatever.
Well, isn't
yeah.
that the whole point of being rewarded for finding the secret in the first
It
place?
made it made a little more sense in the original Doom, where the game was split up into these 5 isolated episodes, where
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
also where you didn't really have to aim in that game very much.
where finding the weapon only affected the one episode. So maybe you found the good weapon and had an easy ride in episode 2, but maybe you didn't in episode 4, you know? So it basically reset the challenge balance every so often, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually one of the reasons I prefer Doom 1 over Doom 2, because Doom 2 was just a single campaign all the way through, and you have all the weapons by, like, 20 minutes into the game. And there's no upgrades in that game, so you're just stuck with the same arsenal for the whole ride.
yeah, you have everything that there is to have, and that never changes. It's just a matter of keeping your ammo stocked throughout the rest of the game, and that can result in a feeling of diminishing returns as you go from level to level.
Just for context, how long did it take for you to get all the weapons in Doom 1?
Well,
Depending on the episode.
So-
Oh yeah, you're right. You
um,
just said that you lose them all over the
Yeah,
all the time.
in,
so I'm not paying
um,
attention.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
In Doom 1, I might be remembering wrong, but in the first episode of the game, you don't even find, like, the plasma rifle and the BFG. Like, they're just not in those episodes at all. So it kind of depends, because,
Okay.
like, in the first episode, you'll have all of the weapons by, say, like, level 5. But in episode 2, you'll have most of your weapons a few levels in. But then in episode 3, they make it harder, so it takes longer for you to find all of your weapons.
Okay.
yep.
All right, that makes sense. I should just play it at some point because Doom
Yeah,
is
the-
$5 on everything. So I have
The-
to.
You just be prepared for some very archaic jank.
Oh yeah, it's very dated.
If you
Um,
want to
but-
play a less dated version of Doom, Ted, my recommendation is to get the PC version and mod it with something called Brutal Doom, which, among other things, adds aiming to the game. So,
Oh, you see, that sounds like a bad idea because I'm bad at that.
well, you'll be
Aiming's
playing
hard.
you'll be playing with a mouse, so it's a lot easier to do that. But
What basically what happens in old Doom is that everything is a vertical line.
Yeah, so
as far as detecting hit scan goes.
yeah, the game is technically, assuming that you run it on the original engine and not using a modded source port, the game is literally a top-down shooter that uses fancy smoke and mirrors to make it appear like it's first person, but it is literally a 2D game.
Yes.
Like in the same way that F-Zero is technically 2D.
Well,
whoa, hold on. Was that the game or my video?
It was what the game or your video?
Then that's definitely my video
fine
then,
for
because
me.
I'm getting a lot of weird slowdown.
Oh boy.
That was your video then, because it's fine for me.
That's
Is it
good now?
unfortunate.
Yeah, it seems fine now. You know what? I was looking at
your
a
video
different
your
tab.
video probably just got a your video probably just got a sputtering issue.
That happens. What I was going to say is that although what Trav said about Doom is essentially true, that it's essentially a 2D game in which you rotate around and you shoot on a 2D plane at everything. Doom and Wolfenstein are very similar in that respect. Doom's main innovation was that your character's perspective moves up and down with like slopes and staircase. Well, not so much slopes, but staircases that act as slopes anyway.
Yes, slopes didn't exist yet, both in the game and real life.
Yeah, that's why Sonic Roboblast 2 only got slopes working like very, very recently, even though it's been
So the
production
universe
since the
wasn't
90s.
handicap accessible until like 95, is what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
Challenge
Okay.
completed.
But yeah, it is essentially a 2D game, and that's interesting. It wasn't until like the entire engine was modded out, essentially, that we got a truly 3D version of Retro Doom. But it still plays remarkably well in Brutal Doom.
It's just weird because it's hard to make a 3D engine on a 2D game. It's functionally not possible. That's why, even though there are a lot of indie 2D games that are built in 3D engines. Like I know Boundary Break did like a big expose on Shovel Knight.
Yeah, they
how that's
had
technically
to
a 3D
do that.
game.
They had to do that in order for the 3D and the 3DS version to work.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can do 2D games in a 3D engine, I'm assuming, a lot easier than 3D games in a 2D engine. And if you're trying to do it nowadays, you're just showing off.
Yeah,
that's why I like old Doom, F-Zero, and all the Mode 7 stuff was not in any way using a 3D space. It's all just kind of mirror trickery.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to play classic Doom, the new Bethesda ports are actually good now. They used to suck, but they're actually pretty good.
remember the Switch version was like everybody hated it.
Yeah. It had when it first came out. It required you to have a constant online connection.
Oh
Which
yeah, I
apparently
remember
was
that.
a quote-unquote mistake on their part, which
Sure.
No,
Bethesda,
you know what?
I am...
I'm actually inclined to think it was a mistake because that mistake has been made before by other people. Like, for a very, very brief window, I think the PC version of Sonic Mania had that problem. It's just,
That's fucking weird.
It's a mistake born of rushing the goddamn DRM and not doing the settings properly, I think.
Yeah, that had a lot of good memes though. Like I think it was, I think Super Mario World, like they you beat Bowser and then Princess Peach pops on and then she just says, "You need to have your Bethesda account in order to play the game."
Oh yeah, I got a lot of good memes out of that. But that's been fixed, both for the PC version and the Switch port of the game. If you bought the original DOS release of Doom that was on Steam, you got upgraded to the Bethesda port for free.
Oh, that's a good thing.
And it's still $5. Like it was $5 originally. It's still $5. And plus, it has in-game mod downloading. So like they took a bunch of community maps with permission, of course, and let you just download them from the game for free, which is really cool.
What I want to know is, like, do you still have access to the DOS version? Because that could be important
Yes.
for modding.
When you boot it up through Steam, it asks you if you want to use the new port or the DOSBox version.
Oh, okay. So it just has the DOSBox version in its local file folder. Okay.
Doc specs. But yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I imagine there's no reason not to because the thing's so goddamn small by today's standards. But
it's interesting though what games will work with old mods and what won't. Like Age of Empires, for example, is a old not RTS, turn-based, not turn-based, real, no, it is an RTS. God, what's wrong with
real-time strategy, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but there are custom campaigns from like the early 2000s that still work on it, and you can even go back and like run the old AI for the computer in the new game, and it's really, really dumb.
I wonder.
So like it will work for the content made in the old version, but if you try to have the old AI use any of the new civilizations or whatever, it just doesn't know how to play them, and it will flounder around like a moron.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder how fan-made content for Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition works, because yeah, that's a game where fan-made campaigns and dungeons and stuff are a major focus, because Lord knows not many people are buying it for the core game. I mean, it's decent, but it's no Baldur's Gate. I'm wondering if, like, does the Enhanced Edition have the same issue that the Enhanced Edition of Baldur's Gate does, where a lot of the old mods don't work anymore?
Was the Enhanced Edition of Baldur's Gate any good? Because I know that those came out not too long ago.
The only real issues with it, apart from maybe not being mod compatible with a lot of older stuff, or at least requiring the old creators of those mods to update their mods, which they're probably not around to do anymore. The only issue with it is that the expansion DLC is kind of lame, from a design standpoint, not a narrative one, and the additional characters that they added into the game, rather than very courteously being placed out of the way so that you're not forced to encounter them like a lot of added mod characters would be, they just stick them right in the middle of your path, so you have to encounter them, but you only have limited party space in Baldur's Gate, so it's really annoying.
Oh, it's like, hello there, fine sir. Do you want to join my party and take up the only party space I'm saving for character Y, who I love at the end of the game?
Well, you know, it's not like you can't kick party members out and recruit others, but like, a lot of the party members in the early game have these quests associated with them, so you don't want to kick them out until you've done those quests, because if you don't do the quests, eventually they get sick of you faffing about and not doing their quest, and they leave voluntarily. Or, in one memorable case, they actually attack you.
Can you tell someone to leave and then have them come back?
I've never actually told someone to leave in the Enhanced Edition. They might have a place that they go to re-recruit them. But in the original Baldur's Gate 1, what would happen when you told a party member you didn't want them with you is that they stayed where they were when you kicked them out of the party until you went back to find them again.
Okay.
So
yeah, you're in the middle of a volcano.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, get out of here.
So
okay.
Basically,
and then he just stands there.
Basically, what I did back in the day was that whenever I wanted to switch out a party member, I would just go to the Friendly Arm Inn. I would go to the second floor where all the rooms are, and there's this big lobby there. So I would always drop my party members off in that one room so they'd all be in one place, and I could just go back to that one place and they'd be there, rather than me being like, ah, damn it, Mids got disintegrated again. I need to go find, like, Khalid and Jaheira. Where did I leave them? Oh, right, that forest way over on the other side of the map. Somewhere.
Hello, party member 7. Welcome to the Lewis the Protagonist fan club. You can stay here for a while.
So it got a little disorderly, so I kind of hope that they change that in the Enhanced Edition, but I haven't actually tried, so I wouldn't know. I know there are mods to change it, but I'm not sure if they implemented one in the remaster. In Baldur's Gate 2, it was designed to be much more intelligent. When you kicked people out of your party, they'd say, "I'll go here. You can find me again here." It wouldn't always be in the same place, but at least they'd have a place that they return to rather than being left behind in the middle of a fucking dungeon.
You know what? The atmosphere down here is nice. Very dank. Lots of zombies.
There's a party member that you recruit at the end of the first dungeon. If you don't have any room and you want to switch someone out, you either have to leave and kick one of your party members out somewhere accessible, or kick them out in the middle of the dungeon and recruit Zan there. And then if you want to get that other party member back, you gotta go back to the end of the first dungeon to get them. So,
Was it like some kind? Was it like a tomb or something that he was just hanging out in?
oh no, he was being held prisoner by the frickin' ogre guy who was running the scheme to poison the iron of the region. It's complicated.
Yeah, but just imagine joining an adventuring party with somebody, and then they're like, okay, welcome to the team, new guy. Fred, you're going to need to stay here in this prison cell for a couple weeks. Have fun. And they're like, sure.
Baldur's Gate was pretty groundbreaking, but it had its share of jank.
I kind of zoned out for a minute, and I thought we were talking about putting Fred from old YouTube in jail.
Is Fred from... Oh my god. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. Oh god. Oh man. Remember Annoying Orange?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
I wish that I didn't.
I remember seeing Annoying Orange in an airplane video.
Oh yeah, during the safety video.
Yeah, the safety video that Delta was doing a while back.
Quick fun fact about this arena. That Cyber Demon right there, Tyrant, whatever you want to call it, if you skip the cutscene, he jumps out of the pit, and if you immediately start zapping him with the microwave mod for the plasma rifle, he just falls back in, and that kills him.
Speedrunning strats.
Who is the big guy in the background being like, yo guys, what's up?
Oh, they're just demon slaves.
Oh. Wait, they're the slaves?
Yeah. They're not actually demons. They were giants from another realm that the demons enslaved.
Oh.
Interesting.
And they don't really fight. They just sort of do
here.
whatever. Yeah, they just sort of vibe.
Imagine if the entire Earth got enslaved by a race of bug people, but unlike the ones from the movies that are big and scary, they're actually just literal mosquitoes.
And
I mean, isn't that Earth currently?
I mean that's basically the plot of Earth Defense Force.
You can argue that the bugs just farm us for nutrients when we die.
Yeah,
it's a circle of life.
Yeah, but how many of them die to our bug spray by the time we get to that point, you know?
They're
a small fraction, like maybe 2%.
That's true. There's always more bugs. They never can leave.
Got a big ball of ants.
I mean,
okay, you know what? If I could think of, like, the worst way to go out, being eaten by an ant colony would be pretty high on that list.
Didn't that happen in one of the Mummy movies?
Probably.
It might not have been ants, but it was for, like, locusts.
I don't want to think about Brendan Fraser right now.
What? I thought Brendan Fraser was okay.
I was gonna say Brendan Fraser's like the least, the less problems with those movies.
Yeah, he's fine.
I haven't watched.
Well, he's doing better now, but
I
haven't watched
the
the
only
90s
thing I remember
Mummy movies in forever, but I remember them being
fun. I mean, aside from the obviously aged CGI, they hold up pretty well.
They're schlock, but they're decent schlock.
The Scorpion King.
I wouldn't go out of my way to watch one of them anymore, but, you know, if one was on TV and I had nothing better to do, I probably would sit down
not without
and watch
some form of intoxication.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be watching George of the Jungle.
Let's see.
With Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser was in George of the Jungle?
The 90s movie.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh, man.
I used to have that on VHS.
I also had that on VHS.
What are you going to mention next? The live-action Flintstones movie?
I had that on VHS, too.
Well, that was John Goodman and Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Have you seen that that panel from the Flintstones comic book by DC?
Yeah, we committed a genocide, Barney.
Yeah, we committed genocide, Barney.
What?
It's just this fucking out of context panel from a Flintstones DC reboot.
They take it's one of those. It basically they made like a somewhat more serious than just sitcom hijinks, where it's like, okay, what would real life actually look like in this Flintstones? So it's a bit more serious, but not too heavy-handed. And then it's like, oh right, Barney and Fred are reminiscing about a war they were in when they were in their 20s. It's like, what?
I mean,
jarring.
Like, the Flintstones was supposed to be originally like more adult than it eventually became, but it seems a little much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, at the time, especially when it came out, a lot of people were complaining about like how overly like dark and how seriously a lot of comics were taking themselves. And so having a Flintstones comic where they say, "We committed a genocide, Barney," was just like... It was just too much.
Did you
at that
intentionally
point.
jump down to get warped back to where you started?
Yes.
It works. That's how I thought you had to do it. I never realized the walls that you had to jump up.
It's so faster to just walk off.
I do that all the time in games. It's just like, will it get me back to where I need to go
Yes.
if I just jump off this cliff? Then
Yesterday,
sure.
yesterday when I was streaming Devil May Cry 3, I got killed by those stupid bloodbat things on my way up the spinning goddamn clock tower room, trying to get back to the door, and I was like, seriously, and I was getting ready to swear up a storm, but then I respawned in front of the door I was trying to get to in the first place. So, and I hadn't lost any progress, so it was just like, okay, well, saves me some
No harm, no foul,
platforming.
then.
That feel when you accidentally become a speedrunner.
I mean, I've accidentally wall jumped in Mario games before in like the Super Nintendo and stuff.
I pity Devil May Cry speedrunners, though. The older Devil May Cry games, specifically, where the platforming was all jank, three-dimensional Castlevania jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I'm just too much of a perfectionist to want to do speedrunning, which you might think is weird because it's just like, oh, if you like challenging yourself, then you probably should try to do that, but you don't understand. I don't want to work hard and get good results. I just want to get good results. So it's not for me.
Just like real life.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see you on the next part.